in any given circumstance. What determines if an emotion will be a warning or just a realizing of true godly pleasure is the Word of God. For instance, a Christian man who has made Jesus Lord of his life and who is married may begin to experience a registering of the emotional indicator of love for another woman other than his wife. This should be a real big warning to that man because of what it says in the Word of God. He needs to examine his emotions according to godly truth and his marriage vows. And, you know, marriage vows are very, very important. This man's soul or body may cause the love and joy meters to register very high when he thinks about this other woman. However, this man's spirit will register high readings of fear and caution. So the feeling of love, feeling of fear together should equal a warning for someone. So the combination of these cause the warning light to flash, cause you hopefully to have self-examination. Why am I feeling both of these things? The Word of God, the Word of truth, will establish righteousness in this situation if this man seeks and accepts this truth and righteousness without prejudice. Pride goes before a fall. The only way to seek the word of truth without prejudice is to not be proud. In the 1980s, there's a guy named Don Francisco. He wrote a song. The song went, "Love's not a feeling, it's an act of your will." I remember Ponca City, where I met Don Francisco for the first time. Our group, the Friendly People, were asked to go down there to sing at this outdoor Christian music festival. Don Francisco was our warm-up act. But I wished it had been the other way around, because the only lights that lighted up the stage, these huge lights they put on the ground, and if you know anything about July in Ponca City, there's a lot of bugs that are attracted to the lights. While the sun was out, Don Francisco got to sing, not being bugged by bugs. But I swallowed 2 June bugs in that concert. A marriage vow is a covenant. I have found that what needs to happen is that a commitment needs to happen, and feelings will follow. I thought I loved my wife when we first got married, but the way I love her now, I didn't know anything back then. I thought it was love, but it, you know, from compared to our relationship now. But when we got married, I told you this, I think last week or a week before, when we got married, God just set out a couple of ground rules. The biggest one was you are never allowed to even speak the D word, especially when you're mad or angry. And boy, that has saved us, because when you speak a word, it's creative. And all of a sudden, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And we're only able to speak what God said about each other. And that, I believe, is the key to our longevity. Now, we certainly have not been as married as long as you guys, but you know, we're going to catch up one day.
Keep crying.
And then there's Juanita and Peter, 60 years Tomorrow, 60 years. That's awesome. I believe feelings are supposed to follow our actions or our commitments. We do not act out of our feelings. That is a dangerous thing to do. Now, here's one other example of emotions of pleasure as emotions of warning. If someone has high indications of happiness when he or she sees someone else hurt, that should give us a warning, okay? So, none of us have ever done that before, right? So, although joy and happiness may be the only meters registering at this time when we put a tack on somebody's chair, by examining the experience file with the word of truth, we quickly know that joy is not an appropriate emotional response. Therefore, the warning lights should start to flash, indicating something is wrong that needs to be fixed.